Hey everybody, it's me, the DOM Big O. Welcome back to Saga Frontier. Now, this is actually going to be all post-commentary. Because if you're hearing this, then I am all done with everything else I was doing. It looks like this is the point where we get eaten by Tanzer. Yeah, sure is. But yeah, I was really getting tired of... I suppose that's a bad way of saying it. I don't really have as much time as I used to, and I haven't for a while, in order to do these Let's Plays. But this was still one big, massive thing left on my plate that I wanted to finish. And I hadn't yet gotten the setup I needed to start streaming. So I figured I would just play through the rest of the story modes and then record post-commentary for them. And that's what I'm doing right now. Also, by the way, Nomad comes in here and she's like, you're free to go with me or them, and then, yeah, just fucks off in a direction that nobody can go in. And there's Phaon standing proudly. Alright, well, Tanzer. So I think this might be the part where I started skipping over things, maybe. Because I skip over a lot in these next couple of videos. Most of it just being stuff you've seen before, or points where I diddled around and accomplished pretty much nothing at all until I found the right way. I love the very peaceful music backset by the beating heart. Boom, 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 boom. So I think I screwed up here because in some cases you can get Phaon in your team while doing this, and I think I made a selection that made Phaon want to take us to the slime pools, but not join us because I think we may have accidentally told him we didn't want to help him with Nomad. And yeah, and I misspelled his name because his name's not Wang. I don't know why I thought his name was Wang. I've always thought his name was Wang or Wong, but it's actually Phaon. I realize how that comes off. But I actually legitimately thought that. And here I'm trying to figure out how to get onto that slide right there that leads to the final slime pools. So in essence, I apologize. I misrepresented his name. And that, in some ways, is not okay. But his name is Phaon. At any rate, we're here at the slimes! Woo! These stupid slimes. By the way, this is the worst thing to happen if you're very near the start of the story, and you somehow accidentally take the rune quest and get eaten by Tanzer. Because Tanzer attacks you as soon as you fly basically anywhere from Kurong. But yeah, we just go to work on him. So yeah, my team composition right at the moment is Luke, T260, Engineer Car, and Mei Ling. I think I actually end up keeping Mei Ling all through Blue's story because she ends up being a pretty good ally. By the way, yeah, non-robots and non-monsters during this fight all have a special command called Touch, where they're just trying to reach out and touch that little rune. Like I said, with weaker characters, it is a total nightmare because these slimes never stop respawning. And you only have a finite amount of weapons energy. But yay! We got it! What? Okay, so it's not like we made Tanzer spit us out. Blue's just like, that was great, and leaves. And then somehow by the way, what you saw there at the end, that was a slime joining our team. I guess it has the same kind of warping powers as Blue? It's a monster though, so it won't see any use. And I'm trying to figure out Blue's stupid fucking way of transporting himself from place to place. I suppose you can just do it like that to avoid getting Tanzer if you're Blue. Something I don't figure out how to trigger myself for a long time. And yeah, I had to check to see if that really happened, because I don't remember ever getting the slime. But then again, I just ignore all monsters. I also kind of ignore all mystics in this game, because I never really understood their powers. Perhaps if I did, I would use them more. Maybe they would end up seeming useful to me. I like how inns in this game don't charge you money, ever. Except for the one in Kurong. Which... How funny is that? That... It's... the little... like, rental shack in the middle of a decrepit neighborhood that actually ends up being the ripoff, rather than all these high-class hotels and establishments like that. Simply because they charge even a little bit. Oh, we're going for the victory rune. Okay. Yeah, I remember this. Depending on what magical quest you can go on, you get different types of characters. Since we're going on a rune hunt, today we get Rufus. I think I switched Rufus into my team, too. Rufus is a pretty cool dude. Or maybe I just leave him there. I honestly can't remember. Oh, I guess I just left him there. I think I was thinking about changing him out for Mei Ling, but I decided to keep her because she was... her gunplay was actually getting the job done for once. Which I really appreciated. Pretty sure I just skipped through the battles in these? Yeah, I do. Actually, I skipped through the whole thing. It was a pretty straight shot. There are a few twists and turns that will put you back to the beginning, but yeah. So, what we're finding here is a pile of bones! Pile of bones! So yeah, this first round doesn't mean anything. Which is a shame that I got a level 4 combination on it. Because nothing you do to him during this first round matters. You're just rattling his bones! And then he gets up with fire breathing. Stegosaurus dragon? I'm glad I used psychic armor, as if that ever made a difference. Yeah, you're undead, so cross shot's supposed to do slightly more damage to you, but it does fuck all damage, so that's when I go back to bound shot. Ah, loot learned dead end. Yeah, he can't really do much to us, especially if he's just gonna bite. Sunray is an attack that's also supposed to do more damage against undead, but it still has incredibly low attack to begin with. So, Otto just used the more powerful Vermilion Sand. Still not the sort of thing I would ever call a combo, but whatever. And he continues to be an absolutely ineffectual boss. I honestly kind of feel bad for him. He doesn't deserve this. He did. Well, I mean, he was already dead. But now he died the second death. The death of the soul. Which just hung around waiting to re-inhabit his decayed bones? Desiccated bones? He's in pieces again. And I got the victory rune, which is an up arrow. And there's Rufus, that cool motherfucker. Wearing his bitchin' shades. There really is some pretty fucking incredible character art in this game. Sadly, I must admit that as much as it still entertains me, it really isn't the best game. But it's one that I still think fondly of, to be honest. It's just one of those games that has problems. Like every other game. Like every game. As long as you're willing to work with those problems, it still comes out to an enjoyable experience. I don't know, 90s kids put up with a lot of bullshit from their games. Yeah, whatever. Now we get Annie. Yeah, we're equipment operators. Vague equipment operators. And now that we're past that one checkpoint, absolutely no need for those disguises whatsoever. Because conveniently, they have a ladder just inside the entrance that leads into their man-shaped pipes. Man-sized pipes. Also, I've skipped straight, basically, right to the end of this place. It's a little bit of a maze. Filled with random monsters, and I'm pretty sure I've shown this before. If not, you'll see it later on. And he's like, watch my back. And then Blue just silently watches a gigantic centipede sneak up on them. Now, I wasn't sure about this guy at first. Also, some of their moves have improved. You might notice Luke now has triple thrust. At first, I thought this guy would be a pushover, because I thought he was the same enemy from the beginning of Amelia's chapter that you'll see pretty soon. But in actuality, he is entirely his own thing. Well, actually, I think he's like an evolution of it. And he has a lot more health. Also, he has that move, which does 100 base damage, and it's really annoying. So we'll just wail on him, because that's what we do best. Also, we'll do actual combos, instead of combos where we wait for one attack to finish entirely before we do the next move. So yeah, he's not really a threat until he does the centipede charge. That's really the only frustrating move he has. That, and he has a lot of health. Okay, maybe he didn't have that much health. I oversold that by a bit. I thought I remembered that taking a little bit longer. Maybe it was because he didn't die in one turn that I was like, oh, this guy's got a lot more health than I thought. And here's the rock with the freedom rune. And now we have all four. Which means that now Blue has the gift for rune magic. You've forgotten his whole quest is he's trying to gather magic from everywhere. One of each of the split types. There's a good portrait of Annie. I believe we see that one again later on. We flipped it around till the point where I figured out where else I needed to go. Did I just go to Kyo? I don't remember there being anything in Kyo for me. But I guess we'll find that out. Oh, I think this might be where you can learn mind magic, I think. Also, this was a set piece from Red's story mode, which I don't think serves much purpose otherwise. Yeah, there's mind magic. That is actually a bit of a hint. that I didn't realize until now of what's actually going on. But also, it won't, learn mind magic, you have to give up realm magic, and it won't let us do that with blue anyways. I don't know where we're going back to Kurong. Our next stop should be going to, Devon. Back to Devon. Yeah, see? This is what I did anyways. Oh well, sometimes it takes me a minute even when I'm playing to think of things. Okay, now we're going to be going over to inquire about the strongest forms of magic. And I wonder if I left in the part where... because time magic is what I want. There's time and space magic. If you ask about time magic, they'll tell you and give you some hints about how to get time magic. If you ask about space magic, they immediately warp you to a place where you have to do stuff to get space magic. Okay, I did cut out the part where I accidentally got warped to the place for space magic and soft reset because it annoyed me. So then we're going to Mosperisburg. Can't remember how to properly pronounce that. But we're going there. What is it? Mosperisburg. 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 We're going to see the Ring Lord. Because she can take us to the Time Lord. I don't know why they designed it to be done this way, but yeah, this is like the only way. She's like, there's some dude who calls himself a master of time. He's still kind of working on it. He can't call himself a master because he's a jackass. Here, go see for yourself. And indeed, he's... They never elaborate on what the hell happened here that got it like this. But there's a big fucking hourglass that runs this place, and it's broken, and sand is pouring out all over the ground. His little time sand. And because of that, that drawbridge will not go down. Also, all these things are enemies, but they're caught in stasis, so I can't fight them or even interact with them. Also, there is no music here. Okay, yeah. So that's what you need to do. You need to have that interaction right there. And then you need to leave. But I haven't figured that out yet, so... It's going to be a second. I really like spilling sand over my hands. That's what I'm just sitting there doing. I'm just picking up mounds of sand and watching it go through my hands going... That's the sound of somebody having fun. Not the sound of somebody who's going a little bit crazy. Certainly the sounds I make when I'm having fun. It's a little unsettling that there's no music in this place. And so we warp out because there's nothing we can do at the moment. Now, you have no idea that you need to do this, but go back and talk to the Ring Lord. Although you might do this anyways, because you'd be like, what the fuck happened? And the Ring Lord is like, oh, pour some sand over that sand, and it'll start itself. Gozaris and Fascinaturu. So welcome back to the horrible world of that purgatory that Acellus was trapped in for a long time. There's still nothing going on in this volcano. There wasn't anything. There was a thing that happened off screen, or off recording, when I was playing around with Acellus, where a sprite introduced themselves as like the spirit of the volcano or something like that, and that was all there ever was to that. So we don't need that guy yet. That's our way out of here. What we need is this guy, the life point merchant. We're going to take this opportunity to... Well, the sand vessel is what we want, but we're also going to buy the Asura sword. I think I bought the sand vessel by accident. No, I bought it on purpose, not knowing what it was during Acellus' chapter, which was a waste of life points because I never even tried to go get the Time Lord in that one playthrough. But I didn't know what it was for. So yes, the Asura is basically the best sword in the game, because I think it has about the highest attack power, and it raises a bunch of your base stats too. However, I'm sort of a dumbass, and this now puts Blue in a little bit of a precarious position. Especially because I did it before the fight with his brother. Oh, keyboard. So essentially, we're gonna escape this place the exact same way Acellus escaped. A human pilot dude who just happens to, yeah, we skipped through that whole cave section because it was dumb and the same. And this guy gets us the hell out of here. There's gonna be a lot of jump cuts. Because I don't want to bloat this, but I want to be done with it. And I don't think, other than the important fights or interesting fights, I don't think you guys want to see the other, like, hour or so of cuts, or of, fights with random enemies and just wandering around very similar looking areas. So I'm just editing it out. For your sake and for mine. Because I've... this being the 5th story I've showed off? Yeah. It's getting about that point where we've just about seen and done everything there is to do. So I'm just skipping over the unimportant stuff at this point. And here we go back to talk to the Ring Lord. Which, by the way, the Ring Lord does not lock her doors to anybody else other than Riki. But I guess that's because she already knew Riki was collecting all of the rings. I still like to think that the Ring Lord just doesn't like Riki. And I'm okay with that. I don't like Riki. Honestly, that false ending of Riki kind of wishing upon his little MacGuffin of a monkey's paw for the most part. That his world was reborn, but everybody had to die for it to happen. Oh, genocide is not okay. But I still think it was kind of funny. Yeah, no, you don't do that. You can't play around in the sand anymore. That's depressing. And pour some sand in the top of this broken hourglass. It's not a problem that it's broken at the bottom. And now enemies exist again. Guess we'll show off this one again real quick, just to show you that these are in fact enemy encounters now. Which, in fact, they are enemy encounters now. I believe that, from what I read in a fact, the monsters you fight on these platforms... Oh, Thunder Thrust. Right on. I don't think that's as powerful as Triple Thrust, though. Kind of step backwards. But I believe they're supposed to kind of representations of the symbols that the things are standing on. I like that these two have a team attack. I just wish it was any kind of more powerful. Also, the Asura has a chance of a fatal hit. Insta-death. I like seeing them stats go up. Ah, so this place does have music. I honestly wasn't wearing my headphones when I was initially playing through these parts because the music in this game, I really should have gone into the options and messed with it. But I didn't. And this music is pretty loud. You guys don't quite hear it because I always turn the game audio way, way down when I'm editing. But anyways, yeah, here's the Time Lord. So much power does he have over time that he's able to levitate a mace bell? That's true power. That's the true extent of time magic. Glass shield, that is kind of annoying. So one of the whole reasons that we chose the Time Lord as our victim instead of the Space Lord is something you will see in a minute or two. I don't know why the glass shield didn't shatter at the person who shot it. Alright, Time Eclipse is not it. I thought it was Chaos Scream because that's something I accidentally do in a later video. Or maybe not even in a later video. No. That's something I do towards the very end of everything. Was it like Time Twister? Oh, I hate when Phantasm Shot does that. Phantasm Shot can have a variety of effects, but if that little Reaper guy comes up, wait, he just does what you saw right there. It takes 1 life point, and they die. Here in a second, I don't know why he did that. He's not a very good Time Lord. I guess that's why the Ring Lord called him a fool, basically. He's not very good at his job. We're gonna take his time magic. We're gonna be a better Time Lord than he ever was. We're gonna use it for something other than levitating a bell mace. Maybe. I always thought you can only get to this guy or the other guy as blue. But as it turns out, you can basically get to this guy as anyone or the other guy. In fact, I think you can recruit this guy and the other guy on your team if you're anybody else other than blue. Blue just wants to kill him and take his magic. Let's be honest, he's pretty shitty. So he needs his magic taken. Overdrive, here we go. This is a move that lets you take a bunch of turns in a row. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's the end of it. Also, the way he spent some of his time was by... He spent like half of his attacks just beating people with his... He must have run out of magic. That's why he's holding on to his Bell Mace now. Actually, no, he did run out of magic. But while he was in overdrive, he had infinite magic. I know this. Because that's just how it works. So I don't know why he suddenly switched to only physical attacks. And funnily enough, he's actually a bit more daunting with physical than he ever was with his magic. Just another point against how shit of a Time Lord he is. He should have been Mace Bell Lord. See that? If he had been using that from the start, I would have been a lot more terrified by him. Kind of like I am a little bit now. He was actually starting to make me feel the pressure here during this chunk. Because of shit like that. He actually had power. Why wasn't he doing that? Why? He's the Time Lord. Why is his magic so shitty? By the way, another thing that makes Mei Ling's gun combat a lot better this time around is that she's actually got a double gun skill, if I recall correctly. So she's actually using 2 pretty powerful guns to do the same attack. Oh, did he get some of his magic back? Too late now. He's like, I'm too effective. Have to swap back to my time magic so that you can stop being afraid of me. He's so trash. Oh god. And from that, I mastered time magic. There ain't a whole lot in there that's actually all that useful. Like, overdrive is great. Time Twister is okay. Overdrive, by the way, actually saps all of your MP when it's done. Which is a very important thing. Also, I think I tried to prepare later on by buying a bunch of items for refilling magic MP points. JP points. And you can't use those items in battle, so that's a waste. Trying to figure out which of these I want. I've already got Overdrive, which is all I'm ever really going to use. I think maybe I've used Time Twister once during one of my failed attempts on one of the bosses coming up. Also, on my way out, I think I, try to figure out something interesting. Because I think I actually had a bit of tarot magic. Oh wait, no, I get tarot magic later. Oh yeah, when I defeated that enemy, it gave me cat socks. Fucking cat socks. And they were not that great. And so here we face off against Blue's brother, having collected all the magic we need to. This is actually kind of a tough fight. You and him have kind of similar stats, similar amounts of health. He has about 8 or 9 life points. And because I spent so many... I'm just gonna skip ahead to some of my losses. But because we spent so much on that Asura life sword, or Asura sword, I have very few life points. I've already used Overdrive in this one, and wasted all my magic, which left me with just Energy Chain. And for the last 6 turns before this, it had basically been a loop of just him and me shooting my energy thread at him, and yeah, back and forth, him continually using Power Grab, which lowers my strength and steals life from me. Here's basically what I use Time Twister for. Or not Time Twister. The Infinite Speed one. I already forgot the name of it. Just to knock off as many of his life points as I can. The attacks I'm doing would normally do so much more damage to anybody else. But to him, they do very little, honestly. They do like half of his life. So I never technically died against him. But it did have to soft reset a bunch of times, because otherwise it would go into a very slow loop until I eventually lost. Because of shit like this. It was the worst. And I'm basically just showing you all of my failures first. Also, there was no way to figure out what he was going to do half the time. Except at this point, he only does power grab over and over again. Because the game... There was no way to strategize against him. Because the game decided randomly every turn who went first. Sometimes I would go first, sometimes he would go first. Sometimes he would go first 3 times in a row before I got to go first again. So there was no way to strategize for going second or going first. Because the game just decided willy-nilly who got to do that. And it was legit frustrating as all hell. And here we go. This is the main battle. So he has one trick that makes it especially frustrating. That you can't determine who goes first. Who's going first or not. He has a spell, Psychic Prism, that's the one. That's why I let off with that other attack first. Because if the game just decides randomly that he goes first, he can do that, and then I'll take damage. I think I thought that it wore off after a turn. It doesn't. Oh, yeah. Here we go with that bullshit. Oh, I did soft reset again. Because the game just kept screwing me over like that. There's so much luck in this fight. It's all about whether or not it'll decide if he gets to go first. And if it does he get to... Will he cast Psychic Prism? Yep, here it comes. Like, quite honestly, I don't have much other way of dealing with him other than magic attacks. Because it's supposed to be a fight of magicians. So if the computer had him do that every turn, I would occasionally get some hits off, but it would just be killing me more than it'd be killing him. So as long as I do these attacks outside of the super time attack I have, Overdrive, they actually do decent amounts of damage. And take his life points down one by one. Or maybe that's just when the right kinds of Magispheres are happening. Because I don't think it does it now. Oh, you are so fucking frustrating with that bullshit. Because now it won't do nearly as much damage as I remember correctly. What I'm trying to wait for is I'm waiting to be down on 1 life point before I go for Overdrive. At least I think I remember that being my strategy. Do as much damage as I can, wait for the final life, and then dump everything I have on him. And, yeah, there we go. You got to go first. No idea what determines that. Alright, well, fuck it. Overdrive. Or are we going to chance it for one more turn? I guess we're going to chance it for one more turn. Is it because I thought I could kill him this turn? So yeah, if you're wondering, during this fight, both you and Rouge get revived as many times as you have life points automatically, just for this battle to keep things more thrilling. You both have Reviva casted on you at all times, which in terms of like Final Fantasy lore would basically be life 3. Those epilepsy warning, because there's a lot of this coming up, like about 6 or 7 of it in a row. This fight was frustrating the hell out of me. And I didn't even feel like there was much more I could do, because I'm strong enough to take him. And I've already made the mistake of getting the Asura sword that cut my life points down to 3. I just had to roll with it. I think this is his final life. And if it's not, was the same thing I was thinking at this point, was that I hope this is his final life. Now he starts his annoying power grab crap. Point of note, I'm pretty sure that if you went and got the space magic when you got here, Rouge would have the time magic, and I'm pretty sure he would be able to cast Overdrive on you. Ah, that's it! Yes! Rouge has been murdered! Which is kind of sad, because Rouge has been my companion a bunch of times. And he's always been helpful, and will continue to be helpful. Blue comes off as kind of a snobby prick a little bit most of the time. At any rate, well, here's the credits. Alright, well, just gonna call it here for this video. Oh, fooled ya! But I am gonna call it here. Basically, they refused into one being, and whoever won the fight is who you'd play the rest of the game as. I'm the DOM Big O, and I shall see you next time.